So I had this dream May 22nd, 2021. And in the dream, I'm sitting in a house that is not my own. And when I go outside, I see huge in my face, a huge low and close to the earth blood moon. Red, orange, very detailed, crisp moon, full and vivid and bright. And it was like just jaw dropping. Like, what is this moon doing so close to Earth? Almost concerning, but there was no fear. And behind this huge blood moon was like a crescent moon, like just slightly behind it, but farther away and smaller was like a regular size, just normal crescent moon. And so there was two moons in the sky, side by side. Again, one was much closer, much bigger. The other one was smaller, and you could tell like a little bit more distant. And so when I saw this, I automatically knew in my spirit, like at that moment, that the rapture was about to take place. Like I just had this knowing in my spirit.
In this dream, I looked up and seen this eclipse happening. It was two moons. So when I seen that, when I looked up, I started hear a trumpet that was blowing. It was like bong, like it was like long. And instantly in my spirit, I knew the rapture is about to happen when I heard that trumpet. So the dream was like a confirmation when I heard the trumpet in the dream. And it's like I instantly knew in my spirit that the rapture is about to happen.
I want to share with you a dream that I had 2 nights ago from the Lord. He has been confirming this dream to me a lot. And I was just watching this moon and then this smaller moon that was much brighter than this moon came in the scenery, and it was somewhere around here, and it just went in this motion in front of the moon and just out of the scenery. Just this much smaller moon and brighter. And when I saw this moon, I knew that the rapture will be taking place the same night. I just knew that in my spirit that the rapture was going to happen.
I had a dream. They kind of looked like the moon, but they were blue. So they were like this, like really bright blue, and they were huge, and like they were right at the horizon. I mean, they were like right at like eye level when you're looking out, but they were huge. Like, I mean, not like a normal size moon at all. He's holding on to this pole, and all of a sudden the wind is blowing, and all of a sudden he goes phew, up, like into the sky. And at that moment, I'm like, it's the rapture! I'm next! And then I woke up. And it was very cool. It seemed very real. It seemed like I was really there. It was super exciting. And, you know, I don't know if it's, you know, if it's God saying, hey, this is how it's going to play out. Or, I mean, 2 moons, I don't know. Maybe, like, trying to say that, you know, maybe, like, there'll be this big, huge moon, and then you'll see another big, huge moon, and then around that time might be around the time that he's coming for us. Maybe.
I had a dream that I saw a big moon, okay? It was big, right in my face, big moon. And in this big moon, it was a little bit hazy. Like, it was hard to see the clarity of the moon, but then it became more clear. It was a big moon, really big. And then on the upper right side, I saw a normal sized moon, the kind of moon you normally see from Earth. Like when you look up, you see the moon, it's that size. But this moon right in my face was a huge moon, okay? So there's 2 moons in my dream. And at that moment, I knew the rapture was happening. And I woke up and the dream ended.
Everyone was outside looking up at the moon because there was another planet. There was a planet next to the moon that was almost the same size as the moon. It was bright. It almost looked like another moon. And everyone was looking at this. Everyone was outside, and there was such a peaceful feeling. It was very calm and peaceful. If this was something that was happening in reality and not in a dream, that would really scare me, to see a planet as big as the moon, that close to the Earth. But it wasn't scary. It was I felt very calm. It was unbelievably peaceful. All of a sudden, without warning, I started to rise off of the ground. And I remember thinking, wow, the rapture's happening. It's finally happening. And it was just such a unbelievable excitement and joy that I felt that the rapture was finally happening, after waiting for it and hearing about it my whole life, and, you know, reading about it and anticipating this event, and then it was finally happening. I just felt overwhelming excitement and joy.
So here's the dream. I'm driving around in my Jeep, and I have my kids with me and my husband. Some very weird things had unfolded right before I saw the two celestial objects in the sky. And I look up, and in the night sky, I see two red moons. I remember thinking in the dream that they could have been moons. And I remember thinking in the dream, oh my goodness, I remember some of my subscribers telling me they've seen two moons. And I was talking to my girls and saying, Jesus is coming, Jesus is coming. And I was jumping up and down, and I was so excited, and I knew we were just about to go home.
I had another rapture dream, basically. But in this one, it was interesting because it kind of explained the mystery of the two moons, because there was two moons again in this one. But this time they seem to converge in this dream, and I kind of thought of an eclipse type thing going on. But anyways, so in that dream, I saw those two moons, right? And I saw an event basically happening in the sky. That event happened where they kind of merged in a line. And then the next thing, the dream moves to after the rapture. It made sense when it happened. Like, I understood what the two moons meant, like what was going on.
It was a really short dream, but very vivid. In it, I was walking down my favorite place by the river at night, and the moon was so bright. It was a full moon. But when I looked up again, I saw a smaller moon next to it. It was like a very smaller version of a full moon right next to that moon. And I was like, oh wow. And I just knew the rapture was about to happen. I was like, it's here, it's the two moons. The rapture is going to happen. Others believed me and were excited. And then there were others who believed me, and they're like, oh no. They like believed me, but they didn't want to go. Like, they were believers. I could tell, you know, they're like, oh yeah, we're going to get raptured. But they didn't want to go. They were all on like laptops or their phones, and they were just, let me finish this real quick. I have to do this really quick. They just were not prepared and didn't want to be raptured yet. So then it ended. So that was really all there was to that one. I thought it was really cool that I had a two-moon rapture dream, because I've seen so many dreams like that. And then just last night, I had the second two-moon dream. So kind of everyone is together, and all of a sudden I looked out and I saw a blood moon, like a huge red moon. And it was so big and bright and just red, like super red. And I thought, oh wow, like that's a really crazy moon. Then I saw it was an eclipse, like it was eclipsed. Everything I felt, like I can still feel exactly what I felt in that moment. Like, wow, this is real. We're gonna get raptured. There's the blood moon eclipse, and there's two moons. We were just all standing there waiting, looking at this blood moon, this beautiful blood moon eclipse. and it just wasn't happening, but we just knew it was going to any second. And when she said, no, it's not Rosh Hashanah, it's Tuesday, I cannot make this up. I looked at the date of this blood moon, and it is Tuesday, like the 8th of November is a Tuesday.